Hey everyone, this is Brian from Many-Sided Media. Recently, ICE has once again murdered an American citizen in Minnesota, but the citizens of Minneapolis are showing up for their community to resist this violence. We make shows about games and imagination and all the silliest things in life, but we also want to support the people of Minnesota. So here is how we are going to start. This month, we are going to be matching donations to the Women's Foundation of Minnesota and their Immigrant Rapid Response Fund. These donations will help organizations that support and protect immigrants by providing human services and legal services to immigrant communities under attack. We are matching all donations up to $500, so if you send us a receipt or proof of donation on social media or by email to manysidedmedia@gmail.com, we will match your donation in kind. Not only that, if you donate any amount over $20 anytime this month and let us know about it, we will also send you a code for a free month to our Patreon. This month, we're going to be putting out talkbacks for Perils and Princesses, some original music from that season, plus a special 2-part Die series with guest GM Kieran Gillen and guest player Nathan Yaffe. So not only will you be donating to a great cause, not only will your generosity be doubled by the folks here at Many-Sided Media, but you will also get a bunch of great TTRPG content as well. So once again, go to wfmn.org and donate to the Immigrant Rapid Response Fund. Let us know that you did, and we will match your donation and send you a free month of our Patreon. While times right now may feel dark, remember that individually, things may seem hopeless, but united as a community, we can make great change. So just do one thing every day. That's really all I'm trying to do. Just one thing. Maybe it's this, maybe it's volunteering in your community, meeting your neighbors, going to a protest, signing a petition, or finding some other way to get involved in your community. Every step that we make towards a better tomorrow is frustratingly imperceptible. But if we just keep making them, then one day we may actually find ourselves in that better future that we all hoped for. And with that, enjoy the show.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Elliot.
What's the talk of the table?
Welcome to the final week of our Zine Month series here on Talk of the Table. Zine Month is almost over, but it is not over just yet because we've got 2 more projects that we are excited to tell you about. Today, we are diving into the Borg universe with 2 great projects: a Borg battle royale called Murker of Morks and the cyborg module Dead Internet Theory. Hello and welcome back to Talk of the Table. Today we are joined by Nishant to talk about his new game, Murker of Morks. Nishant, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Great to have you. We're excited to talk about your game and celebrate more of Zine Month because this is our favorite month of the year.
It's a great month.
So I was immediately enamored by the description of your game as a big Predator Killer of Killers fan. I think that movie is so sick. So could you give us the elevator pitch for Murker of Morks?
Murker of Morks is an adventure module that combines 6 different Mork Borg style games into a single brutal tournament.
Hell yeah.
And it's inspired by the show Predator Killer of Killers, and how it had this storyline about different people from different eras who had managed to defeat a predator alien, and they're all brought together for like a big blood match. And it's like, it's that kind of like very like 80s-ish schlocky kind of like concept that's just like fits right at home in like the Borg style games. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's always about bringing people around and like having a wacky time. Beyond like how each board game has its own kind of soul and its own kind of like vibe, they all have this kind of inherent undercurrent of like comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's always kind of ridiculous. It's always kind of silly. And so I was just like, what if I bring it all together and I bring like that kind of comedy to the forefront where it's just like this big ridiculous kind of thing. You've got all these people from different worlds, different times being brought into this battle royale that's very like online streamer themed. And so it's like they're all very confused and it's all really weird, and like the entire audience is like goblins and they throw things at you if you mispronounce Murker. And so it's meanwhile everyone else is allowed to say Mork Borg, and so it's like it's this focus on like comedic things and like silly things while still keeping that kind of intensity and the violence at the core of the Borg system.
I am amazed that no one has ever done the like meta commentary on there are a million Borgs out there. Let's put them all together and make them fight.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a fun thing. I'm now just thinking like, okay, where are all the Blades in the Dark hacks that I could throw together and make them fight?
Right.
You know what I mean? The Slug Blaster and Girl by Moonlight, going together. But I'm just reading from your thing. It's the 6 games that you have in here or 6 games that this is like a compatible adventure with to throw them together are Mork Borg, Pirate Borg, Frontier Scum, Court Borg, Vast Grim Horde, and Punk is Dead.
Yes.
Which just the mind spins at those things all coming together.
The reason, like some of the ones we chose are just because they're popular, because it's like Pirate Borg and like Frontier Scum are both really popular and both really iconic in their own way. But it's like specifically one of the people I met up with to work on this he's a professional GM called Austin Aki. And we met when we were both running games at PAX U. And we were running two of those board games. We were running Vast Grim and we were running Punk is Dead. And so he's the one who taught me about Vast Grim, and he's the one who like kind of put me in like, oh yeah, this is the headspace for it. This is the kind of like, this is the vibe that you have to kind of bring. And it's just like him and like those games and like all coming together. It just feels like, it was just like, it felt correct to kind of do this. And so a lot of the writing, I think most of the writing, especially when it comes to encounter design, is done by Austin Aki, and he's so wacky and he's so fun, and it's like it breaks my heart every time I have to cut something of his because it doesn't fit on the page because it's just so exuberant, vibrant in like a violent way.
And when it comes down to how you sort of perform this magic trick of bringing all of these Morks into one arena, what does that look like mechanically? How do you make them all play nice together?
I think it comes with the it's trying to have a connecting line in between all these things. And so obviously there's the whole the arena and the progression of it, where it's just like, okay, this is like a blood sport. We're all doing people from 6 different worlds, and there's 6 different stages, and there's like, all the 6s, because as one would include in a Borg inspired thing. And so each section pulls from one of the games that's inspired it. And so it's like every player in like the intentioned kind of thing where it's 6 players all from different places, they'll have that moment of just like, oh, I know this place. Like, I'm familiar with this. We're in danger. And so it's like, we wanted to kind of give that feeling of like familiarity for one and then confusion for the others. And then it becomes about just the joy of the lightweight system of board games is that you can have this very laissez-faire attitude, because it's like it's this like thing where it's just like, oh, can I use my heft skill to like knock over these things? And it's just like, yeah, sure. But then it's just like, oh, can I use my heft to see if I can like intimidate this coworker into like giving me the information I need? And I'm just like, yeah, sure,
go for it.
And it's like, it's that kind of yes-anding that connects these games together.
I love just how much of this is Mortal Kombat, and like I just keep thinking like Mortal Kombat mixed with like the stages from like Super Smash Bros, but throw in all the Mork Borgs.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun. I think this would. Yeah, I could also see the thing that I would love to see from this game particularly is a mega game at a convention where you have 6 different tables all playing each of these Borgs, and then the winners come together into this mega table playing Murker of Morks.
There's been I've talked with some of my friends, some of my compatriots about talking about like a big like Borg apocalypse now, or whatever it's called, or whatever they're kind of rolling with.
Man,
but it's like
Borg apocalypse, yeah.
And so that is being worked on.
Well, got it. It's the natural terminus for this type of thing.
I'm going to steal a question right from your press kit that I think is hilarious, and I want to hear you explain. What's up with the eels?
Do you want like the in-world explanation, or do you want like
Of
the
course.
meta one?
Of course, I
Well,
want the in-world explanation.
Well, the in-world
What?
explanation is that the runner of this twisted tournament, Mr. Least, is has a strange affinity with these slimy creatures. What could possibly that have to do with any kind of other secrets that he has? The eel imagery is this thing that kind of it appears in every single world, and it has this kind of connecting mechanic associated with it called a time sync. Which is like time synchronization, but also you are wasting your time. Where it's like you can kind of have this moment where it's like your character understands where they are and like what's happening. And so it's like they take, instead of like moving towards an objective, they're just like, oh, like, let me interrogate this funky goblin. Like, what does he know? Like, and so it's like we have this kind of push and pull. And it's like you can use those time sync points for like dice rolls. But it's like we also, of course, in the nature of the old school charm of like janky RPGs, we want to be like, oh, if you save up all your time sync points till the end, you can get like secret endings and stuff.
Can I make a prediction? And if it's a spoiler and I'm right, we can cut it or bleep it.
Go ahead.
Is
100%. You are 100% correct. They are several. They are a kind of like this like twisted like thing at the end of the game. This is all 100% spoilers, so
we can bleep it out, and I'm just gonna leave in you saying you are 100% correct.
Just a long string of beeping.
That's really fun.
You just want
I
everyone
really
to know you're
like
correct, and you know what? That's fine.
And that's why I have a podcast.
When you snipe something from that far away, you want people to know about it.
Oh, that's really fun. I love the comedy angle on this. I'm always enamored by like when people infuse comedy into game design. Do you have any other thoughts on like where the comedy comes from in like in the writing or the game design, and like how you made this a funny but like violent and over the top sort of game?
I think on one hand, it's like I want to say it's just like, oh yeah, it's just like me. I'm just so funny. But it's like I think it's like I do have an affinity for kind of comedy games, and a lot of the games that I've kind of I've played, I've run for people, and I've played as a player have all been some of the best games in the space are horror or dark themed.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool as hell. That's awesome. I love Mothership. I love Blades in the Dark. I love Dread. Big fan of that. And it's like all that like innovation and all that like really cool boundary pushing game design is all kind of situated in that kind of dark, nasty space. And it's like, that's awesome. And that's amazing. But personally, I'm not very, very like suited to horror movies. I'm definitely one of those ones who I'm just like the whole time. Like I have to like crunch up like so I don't be still my heart.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because it's like my partner loves horror movies, and so it's like I would get. I've been building a tolerance recently.
My wife likes to just look up. She won't watch horror movies, but she likes to look up the like Wikipedia, like the plot summaries. And she'll leave a plot summary and come up to me and be like, I'm very scared right now. And I'm like, you just read a Wikipedia plot summary.
And sometimes it's like the mind creates the monsters you can't see.
The mind creates the monster.
You know?
100%. And that's, probably one of the reasons why horror works so well in audio fiction, but also like in tabletop. Like the less facets you have available to you in terms of storytelling, the more, scary and unknown can like be played up.
And it's like, that is this 100%. I think you're 100% correct. And it's like, for me, RPGs have always been about having a goofy time with my friends. And so it's like, that's where I kind of approach these things. And it's like, the first time I ran a tabletop RPG was, it was like a D&D 5e campaign that was, I made it myself. And it was super edgy. Every single character started with a curse, and they had like some like super dark path they had to tread. And it's like I made the mistake of having one of my friends, the curse is like they can't get drunk. but it's like they're always thirsty. And so it's like, it's very, very evocative. And they're just like, I'm going to scam people at bars, at drinking competitions. And I'm just like, what? And then all of the players immediately are like, this is our plan and this is what we're going to do. And they had an amazing time. And it's like, there's a lot of things that were stacked against me. I had invited like 6 people, expecting 4 to show up. All 6 showed up. 2 or 3 of them are known for being like guys who've got like bits ready to go. And so it's like, it just became like joke after joke, and they were just goofing off the whole time. And I was over there like stressing, like, no, guys, like, we're trying to pull together. We got the storyline. We're trying to get this, like,
this is dark and edgy, guys. Don't you understand?
Yeah,
you're all cursed.
But it's like at the end of that at that session, I was just like, they had a lot of fun. And it's like, I wanted to have that fun with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to be there being goofy with them. Like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's why I kind of lean a lot of the games that I make, which is funny, not the games that I run. A lot of the games that I make are focused a lot on like comedy and like being silly and improvisational and pushing people to make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So Nishant, getting into the sort of logistics of it all, where are you funding? When are you funding? And what can people get when they back Murker of Morks?
Yeah, so I'm funding on Kickstarter. It's on the 17th of February. We this game kind of came together pretty fast, and so we wanted to at least give it some time in the oven where we like let it properly develop its flavors. We're getting together we've got a digital zine and then a physical zine, which we're working with Plus One EXP. I'm super grateful to them for believing in this project, and all the people I've met at Plus One EXP are super lovely people. We've also got stickers. We've got this fun idea for stickers you can put on your character sheet, showing which stage you managed to beat in the thing, as like a kind of like postage card souvenir kind of thing.
Yeah.
We also have game show style like stamps that you can put on your thing, a little name tag.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's like we're working with some amazing artists to kind of get that stuff together. Tragically, no cool long sleeve T-shirt with eels going down the sides yet.
Yes,
those are expensive, and so maybe tell your friends get those stretch goals in, so I can bully Tony into letting me print a T-shirt, not a T-shirt, a long sleeve shirt.
If everyone buys 6 copies of Murker of Morks, and then also a corresponding board game to go along with them, and then you send them to your friends, and then each of them runs their own game, and then they send a representative to your house. Now you have your own Murker of Morks real life tournament, and the campaign does so well that now we get the cool shirts with Mr. Least running down the side.
And then speaking of the last thing, the special tier that we got prepared is the Cosmic Eel tier. Very exciting, very interesting. And we wanted the game to be compatible with other board games. And so we have in the actual book, we have like tips and tricks of like incorporating characters and getting how to design a scenario that will fit right into the campaign. So you can just mix and match with whatever you like. If you don't think popping up in a performance review in the middle of your Bloodsport is funny, you can just switch out Mork Borg for whatever you want, Ninja Borg, Ragnaborg, whatever you like. But on the Cosmic Eel tier, we will put a character and an encounter from a game of your choice, and we'll put it right into the game.
Oh hell yeah! That's great.
Yeah.
That's
tragically
fun.
we can only do 6 of those because the printing costs. Because every page is money.
I was excited to see that you're working with Plus One. That's great. We love Plus One. They're big friends of the pod. In working with Plus One, why did you all decide Zine Month was the right fit for this game, crowdfunding during Zine Month?
It's actually really funny because I was talking to Plus One EXP about a different game that I wanted to publish with them, and they really loved it, and they're just like, oh yeah, we totally want to like publish this game. And they said like, oh, but have you ever like got a game published before? And I was just like, no, not really. And it's just like, and they were just like, oh, we've got like Zine Month coming up, or like anything you can do, like a small project we'd love to like help support it. And I was just like, well, I do have this funky idea.
Well, now that you mention it,
I do have this blood sport in my back pocket.
I can very much imagine Murker of Morks and, you know, the Borg apocalypse on the rack at the Plus 20 XP booth at the next convention. Like that very much fits the brand.
Yeah. I think that's also like one of the things that I really loved about Plus 1 EXP is just like going to their booth and seeing all like the names I recognize of like friends or like other cool industry people I look up to, like Vidyata Violetti and I forget everyone else's name because I'm that person.
Viditya's the only one.
Viditya is the only one you need. Yeah.
The designer of Hell Whalers, and of course, everyone really loves Mythic Bastion Land. Those are all games I'm infatuated with, and seeing them all in one place, I'm just like, okay, these guys are cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they rule.
That is always a fun thing at like, especially walking around conventions, you'll stumble upon like a booth that has like 3 or 4 games that you know and love, and you're like, oh, these people are cool. Yeah. This is a cool table. I didn't know who you were before, but I know you're a cool table now. We talked a little bit earlier about the team that you have assembled for this, but do you want to shout out like the entire team that you have and who is participating in making Murker of Morks come to life?
We've got designing and editing, which is by me, Ty. Writing and encounter design is done by Austin Aki, a New York-based pro GM I met at PAX U, and we were rooming together, and we had a wacky, grand old time. And so that's how I met. And then Kieran Anderson has done layout and spot illustrations. Kieran is an old friend. We've worked on some projects in the past, little things here and there. A great illustrator, a fantastic, really creative layout designer and graphic designer. And so I was just like, for this kind of energy, I was just like, I gotta call Kieran. 2 other names that I'm working with for the first time, Pepe Reyes, who is a Philippines-based artist who did our cover. And that cover is so amazing. Like, I saw their art and I was just like, I need a phantasmagoric mural made by this person. And it's just like, they're super cool and they're like really, really friendly. And so it's like, I'm just super glad to get them on this project. And I'm super glad that I'm going to be able to like sprinkle their art throughout, because they have this great like mosaic framing style that they do with their artwork, where it's not just the piece, it's the border and it's the shape of it that's all kind of beautifully illustrated. And then we've got character illustrations done by G. Gilrain, an amazing character artist. They have a very characterful style when it comes to character illustrations, like exaggerated proportions and great shapes. And so just like for a kind of comedic bent of this game, it's like definitely like that's who I want drawing these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you may see the occasional horrifying Photoshop monstrosity that is done by Kieran. So ominous thing to look forward to.
As we kind of round the corner here, Nishant, anything you want to make sure that we touch on about the game that we haven't already before we kind of round out to our last question?
The only thing is that like the original idea for it was going to be this kind of nasty one shot that's like 4 hours long. But like as we tried to fit in 6 different sections into a 4-hour like time block, we kind of realized that like that is silly and not going to happen. And so we made sure to kind of have a little timing tutorial where it's just like, if you're just doing 1 session, we're gonna do 3 sections. And so you'll do an intro, you'll do an outro. And then the middle section is you roll a die to see which game you get. And then if you want to do the full 6, we suggest 2 or 3 sessions, depending on how quickly and how scatterbrained your players are.
You could really scale this to you can do it as a one shot, do it as the full thing over a couple of sessions, and like really get to see all the stages from all the different worlds.
Yeah, and so it's like we wanted it to be something that like the least chance of being able to be demolished by the looming threat of scheduling. And so, because we wanted people to run it over and over again. And so we wanted to have the modularity where you can switch in your own favorite board games, and also variables and different things that can pop up and happen in each section. And so focusing on something that is short but repeatable is like the goal of this, like when it comes to our encounters.
Nishant, the last question we want to ask you is one that we ask everyone who comes on the show, and that question is, what are you bringing to the table? And normally this is just a cute way for us to ask for a recommendation of anything, a movie, a book, going out and taking a walk. But for Zine Month, we'd love it if you could recommend another project that is funding during Zine Month that you think people should check out.
I've got two in mind. It's from a good friend, Jeff, from When Suddenly Games. He's got a game called The Crypt is Open. He's a great artist. He's a great designer. And he's been such a kind soul to me personally, because it's like he's worked at a local game shop. He hosted like a dev night, and I went there for local Atlanta devs. And I went there, and he connected me with other people, and he was super generous with his time. I want nothing but the best for Jeff. And so The Crypt is Open is a super sick, pushing back the pulp like horror apocalypse with magic. And it's this great system for these like cool, funky encounters where you beat up cryptids.
Hell yeah.
We'll throw the link for that in the show notes so everyone can check it out.
Also, I have a friend, Irving Berlin, doing a funky little reverse sale on itch.io for their game Townies, where you are a town in the Midwest and you are sad because people are leaving and you are deteriorating, and it's very evocative.
Very cool. We'll throw some links for that in the show notes as well. Nishant, thanks so much for coming to the table. Do you want to let people know where they can find you online if they're looking for you? And also just remind us where we can get and when we can back Murker of Morks.
Yeah, I'm mostly on Blue Sky. It's art by Recluse. Recluse is my little pseudonym, and that's what I go by a lot on online spaces. And Murker of Morks is on Kickstarter starting February 17th, and it's going to be funding for 30 days, even though it's sneaking outside of Zine Month, but
as long as you're dipping a toe in, it's a Zine Month
project. It starts
project.
in February. It's February enough.
Excellent. We'll throw all of those links in the show notes below so people can find you online and also grab a copy of Murker of Morks and smash all their Borgs together and make them kiss in a death match. Nishant, thank you so much for coming to the table.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the talk of the table.
The Wanderer's Bookshop is a solo journaling bookshop simulator that is currently crowdfunding on BackerKit. In The Wanderer's Bookshop, you are guided by tarot cards to collect stories, read books, and find your own white whale. You play as the impassioned curator of a magical bookshop, a wanderer with a burning literary question that the bookshop will help you solve. Along the way, you stoke the magic through caretaking, story collecting, and mixed media journaling. Discover the bookshop's history and the curators before you. Help other wanderers find books for their quests, piece together fragments to create something new, and make or find your own sources to solve the mystery that is your burning question. All the while, creating a keepsake journal, a magical item that will live on your very own bookshelf. Support this project on BackerKit by searching The Wanderer's Bookshop, or go to tinyurl.com/wandering books. Hey everyone, it's Brian, and we've been doing something really cool on our Patreon, and I want to tell you about it. Since we launched the Patreon, we've been putting out bonus actual play episodes every month, but recently we've been doing something even cooler. We've been inviting some of our favorite game designers on the show to GM their own games. And it has been really, really cool. Recently, we had Felix Isaacs join us for a 3-episode game of The Wildsea, where I got to play a Mothrin Raveler conspiracy theorist who may very well be my favorite character ever. Then we had Caleb Zane Hewitt run a 3-part game of Triangle Agency, and we were joined by friend of the show, Taylor Moore, who you may know from his work producing, editing, and composing for Worlds Beyond Number. And just a few days ago, we released part 1 of our 2-part game of Die, GM'd by Kieran Gillen and featuring special guest and friend of the pod, Nathan Yaffe from Drawfee. Kieran is running us through a scenario called Total Party Kill, so you know it's gonna get messy, messy, messy. This has truly been one of my favorite things that we've done on our Patreon so far, but we also have roundtable discussions from Talk of the Table, including a recent episode featuring Brennan Lee Mulligan, Dr. Emily Friedman, and Quinns from Quinn's Quest, talking about actual play and learning TTRPGs. We also have ad-free episodes, original music, cast talkbacks, and even some borderline unplayable original games. So if you want all of that amazing bonus content, and if you want to support a show you clearly like because you've listened to this whole ad, then go to patreon.com/many-sided media and become a member of the Dice Pool. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep making this show and a whole bunch more we have planned for 2026. So jump on over to the Dice Pool, patreon.com/many-sided media. We'll see you there.
Sanguis Populi, the blood of the people, the dark protectors of the hidden city of Ozerod, deep within the illusory forest. Familiar with death as they have eluded it, they are called upon for a desperate task: slaying a creature from the great beyond. Blythe.
This might not be easy. Being surrounded by death. I don't understand how they can do it.
Elvira.
Someone must watch the bodies, and none do so as diligently.
Swan.
Into action so fast. I love when we get to go out.
It came from the sky. This great, pale monstrosity.
You just had to sate your hunger. You couldn't have saved it for the beasts.
I prefer the gratuity.
Vampirism is not immortality. It only prolongs the inevitable. Is this the end for Sanguis Populi? Blood in the snow. A tale yet told. Halloween 2025.
Sorceress, lower the barrier for just a moment. Sanguis Populi departs.
Listen to Tales Yet Told wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome back to Talk of the Table. Today we are joined by David H.K. Jackson to talk about his new project, Dead Internet Theory. David, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Welcome.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great this morning.
Thanks for coming on. How's Zine Month treating you so far?
It's good. So previous years I did itch funding. And so this whole getting a teaser page and doing promo earlier is new for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to, learn the skills involved in the crowdfunding game and in the game design game, as well as just making the games and playing them and stuff.
So to start us off, David, could you give us the short pitch for this project, Dead Internet Theory?
So Dead Internet Theory is a adventure module for the Mork Borg hack Cyborg. It's a cyberpunk heavy metal setting, and the adventure module is based on different interests I have in the cyberpunk genre, different influences that I draw from. It's basically about residents of a virtual heaven start to disappear, and PCs get the call from some concerned family members. From there, they dive down into a deep cyberpunk rabbit hole of dance clubs and conspiracy theories, and of course, Eldritch Horror.
Losing people from a cyberpunk heaven is a very cool place to start for this. I see a lot of fun happening there.
Yeah, it's a really fun idea. Yeah.
What's really great about Zine Month is that there is such a wide variety of types of projects. There are like solo games and GM-less games and GM games. There are, one shots. There are, 10 shots. There are full length games. And there are also, original games, original systems, and also like supplements. What made you so excited about Cyborg, and why did you want to make a module for that system?
Well, yeah, it's definitely the setting. It's very immersive. I think the wild success of Mork Borg and all the various hacks come from the feeling it evokes. It's
Mm,
not necessarily super innovative game design. It's not. It's about creating a sense of atmosphere and feeling that's very immersive and conducive to telling fun stories, right? It's like it's so over the top, kind of heavy that it becomes comical. So you can be joking around as well as having like some exciting drama.
yeah.
And that to me leads to really fun gameplay. I started out doing Mork Borg as like a backup game for my group. Like if everybody couldn't show up, well, like, oh, there's like a 7 zillion Mork Borg modules that I've read. And then like, let's just throw a 1 page dungeon in there and we'll play for tonight. I guess I prefer cyberpunk and sci-fi more. I'm like a big sci-fi person, although obviously I like fantasy as well. The module itself kind of just percolated over time. Ideas that I thought were cool. Like I said, I drew from different cyberpunk influences. Like Philip K. Dick book Ubik has a similar idea of like a virtual retirement home where a bunch of people are about to like seniors on their deathbed. They get cryogenically frozen and uploaded to this digital utopia, and it's like a detective novel within the digital utopia.
Oh, that's rad. I gotta check that out. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philip Dick is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the grandfather of cyberpunk, but still very cyberpunk nonetheless.
Yeah, I read Altered Carbon like 20 years ago, and it's sick. So what all is going into this adventure? What can people expect to find within the pages of Dead Internet Theory to bring to their table?
Well, so the core product it's a dungeon, right? It's a pretty sizable dungeon that is the cult enclave underneath this mega church finance firm in Psi. It's Fideistic Transformations is the name of the corporation. It's part of the cyborg sort of universe. There's a lot of settings surrounding it, but in fact, a lot of that is stretch goals too. So it's hard to say exactly what will be in it. It looks like we're on pace to hit most of the core things like the club and some other satellite locations around it that kind of tie the whole story and the conspiracy together. But ultimately, it centers around this large dungeon of a cult worshipping alien gods underneath the basement of one of the most powerful corporations in the setting.
Really, any Mork Borg hack, and especially like Mork Borg and Cyborg, have such a strong art style. Like the second you pick up one of those books, it's just like blasts you in the face. How are you approaching layout and art direction? Are you looking at it as like, let's pull directly from Cyborg? You trying to do your own spin on it? And how are you approaching like that maximalist style of a Mork Borg hack type game?
I don't do layout or art. Art is done by Roque Romero, who is a pretty prolific artist in the like OSR space. Basically, we just became friends talking about weird music on Twitter, honestly. And
Hell yeah.
like I'll just like send him a random link, or we'll send each other songs and stuff. I'm also studying Spanish right now, and he lives in Spain, so he gives me music recommendations that I can listen to.
Nice.
Tony also is like somebody the layout artist, somebody I interact with a lot, and we talk about different things. So constant communication, having good communication with people and being friends with them really helps convey a overarching style vision that we can all unite over. I sent Tony the PDF for recent cyborg a module called, or a set of supplements called Bankrupt Psi. Yeah, I just sent him the PDF. I'm like, let's do something like this. I think the two of them have such a clear sense of their artistic inclinations that it's going to end up being very unique and personal, but at the same time in that iconic Mork Borg style, but cyberpunk.
You mentioned that in the past Zine Months you've just done itch funding, and this is sort of your first step into the crowdfunding space. So what made you want to take the plunge this year, and like why Zine Month for that? Why Backer Kit?
Basically, in the past I did itch funding because it seemed like a lower barrier of entry, but during Zine Month it's actually a lot more work because it doesn't have the integrated ecosystem of advertising. So you're really hustling actually, because there's no way to get people to see your game except for ads. Whereas if you're on Kickstarter or BackerKit or one of the platforms that has as a Zine Month project going on, it seems like you'll just get better visibility. And actually talking with BackerKit, they were really helpful in setting up the page and gave a lot of advice, like just about using some of their more their functionality and setting up things that I hadn't really looked at because their website's kind of big and sprawling. So it was really nice for them to help out with that. Really, I hadn't decided, but other people on the project were just like, let's do BackerKit. Everybody's doing BackerKit this year. So I was like, great, okay.
Let's do it.
Listen to your friends. Find people you trust and just listen to them.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I know we're big fans of BackerKit. I think they just do a really good job, especially with smaller creators, of like bringing them in, helping them, like setting them up for success. And the platform is just does a lot to help you out, like help you get funded, which is always great to see.
Yeah, they're so helpful. Yeah.
With this first campaign with BackerKit, do you have anything that you have like lessons you've learned so far that you think would be helpful for people who are listening to this, thinking about maybe next year doing Zine Month with BackerKit?
Well, the biggest thing is start early. It's just a general Zine Month piece of advice. Like, start early, get your teaser page going, and BackerKit really provides a nice service allowing for teaser pages. It's something we take for granted, but you need the platform to support that because I started promoting it 3 weeks early. My plan was to start it even later, but then Jordan, my editor, and Wilder Wim, one of the collaborators, was like, no, you got to start like months early and start sharing that teaser page like way early. So do the groundwork. I think that's the best piece of advice I could give to somebody.
I feel like with podcasting and with Elliot, I think with like your game design and crowdfunding efforts, like the thing that we just keep learning is do things earlier. And then we do them earlier and we learn, no, earlier.
Earlier. Yeah, even earlier.
Literally never stops.
I think on the flip side, though, I don't want to discourage people who are just like, in January, they're like, oh, I got this cool idea. I'm going to Zine Month it. Just like,
yeah,
sure.
Do it too. But, I guess gauge your expectations accordingly.
I totally agree.
But also, do it, get your feet wet.
Yeah.
There is very much like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough. Get it out there, make it happen. And really, especially during Zine Month, the thing that's great is even projects that aren't, super well coordinated in terms of like, we've been doing this for months and months or whatever, still can really find a good home because people are just excited to try weird and interesting games. So if you have a good idea and are able to like even sell it just a little bit in terms of how you're promoting it, there's a decent chance you'll be able to like fund your game as long as, as you said, just set your expectations properly. But it's just a community that's really excited to help people out. Like it will happen if you're involved in the community.
Yeah.
It's so cool how people will get so excited about just some little game. Like there's something really satisfying about seeing like a game with like a $150 goal just like get crazy funding, and make it to like a few thousand or something.
Yeah.
It's just like really, gives you the feeling of like somebody just doing what they love, and putting some passion into something and then kind of lighting a spark.
I remember last year there was the game Horse Majeure. That was like a really small, like 8-page fold zine, I think. And it's like about 2 people in a horse costume, just like trying to find an apple.
Yeah.
And it's like the smallest little game, but I was rooting for it the whole Zine Month. And it way reached its funding because it was just like a very cute little game.
Its goal was $5, I think, on Kickstarter.
But it blew past. I mean, obviously it blew past
it. Did,
but it did quite well. And I remember the whole month I was just like, really cheering for this little game. I was like, if out of any of the games that I want to succeed, I want to see Horse Majeure do millions of dollars because it's just such a goofy little thing.
Sorry, it was a $2 goal, Canadian $2, and it raised $3,500.
Like, is that enough to buy a ream of paper, even like printer paper?
I think the fulfillment was all digital. I think that was like kind of it was all print and play.
Fun game. Cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what we love in the indie game space. We want to see those people succeed.
Yeah, agreed. And then this is also a big kind of step up for you in terms of like managing a team, on this project. Like, is that new? Like the amount of collaborators you're working with and people you're hiring on, like, especially if you hit all your stretch goals. I see there's a bunch of different writers.
Yeah, it's mostly the stretch goals that make it like a big unwieldy team. But I guess everybody is involved in the discussions and planning. I think everybody's invested. I suppose it is more work, but I guess, the lesson of prepare earlier has helped me out here. Like the whole game's written, including a lot of the stretch goals, and play tested. I have a separate document for the campaign and like the flow of producing the game itself. It is a bigger project, but I guess I prepared more, so things seem to be flowing well.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a bigger team. Can you tell us a little bit about the team that you have behind you, and like shout out who's all helping and what they're doing in the project?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, I talked about Roke and Tony, who were the artist and layout artist on this project. Yeah, they're both incredibly talented. And, have a million times better eye for design and style than I do. Also on the project is J.M. Bosch, Jordan Boschman. He's a
Oh, I think he was
we
on
talked
this
to Jordan
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Stoneflesh
Gift. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me to apply for your podcast, actually.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan.
That rules.
Yeah, Jordan's the man. So yeah, I met Jordan through gaming. He joined a game that I was in. Forget how exactly, but I found out about his Mothership crowdfunder and backed it, liked it a lot, and saw other work that he was doing with the Pirate Haven for Mothership. That was like a big collaborative project with a lot of other artists. And I guess just talking to him, it's so apparent that he has like such a discerning eye for detail, and he catches things and picks up on things. He just seemed like a perfect choice for the editor, right? Somebody I know and I'm friends with, and also that I'm like amazed by how good of attention to detail that he has. I'm a little worried about him editing it because he's probably gonna, really, really do some surgery on it. But that's what I want at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a good editor.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, there's all the stretch goal writers too, who are different people that I've met either through gaming or I guess last year Wilder Whim, he did a Mork Borg album that's also a heavy metal album. So he's in the band and he wrote the game. I was like, that's just so awesome. So I was like a big fan of their campaign last year. And this year I was like, well, yeah, I want a metal album too. So added him on that. Brina Ratgirl Games, she joined the playtests earlier on from the Ecomorphos server. Ecomorphos. I guess it's the copy paste Discord server. Kaylin Ervin, also a stretch goal writer who joined the playtest through that server. And these are people I had known and been talking with before also. And so we have similar aesthetic interests, and I think also line in worldview also. People of that Discord I can relate to a lot. And then lastly, John Irwin is a writer who I've been like, I guess, mutuals with on social media for a long time. He's always sort of just been a presence, and I always like agree with everything he says. But he's not super prolific, but he does make games, and I've been talking to him a little bit on copy paste Discord server as well. And I just invited him onto the game. He wrote Tunnel Goons hack called Galaxy Goons, which I think is really well done. So it shows like a good taste for science fiction. So it seems like he was also a good add-on for this project. All people that I interacted with first and kind of was like, oh, this person's cool, and then later on wanted to collaborate with them. So it's just it's really fun working on a project where everybody feel like I already know they align with me on vision, or I align with them, and it's just fun to talk about the project. It doesn't feel like work at all. It just feels like a fun project that I'm doing with friends.
It's always great during because we've done this Zine Month series for this is the 3rd year now, and it's great to see people on teams start to crop up in other projects. So having talked to Jordan last year or 2 years ago, and now seeing him here, it's just, I love seeing more people start to fill in the space in a really fun way. It's why we love Zine Month. So many cool new people just start getting pulled into this world. And hopefully this is a great month to find your next favorite game.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
As we kind of move towards an ending here, David, is there anything else that you want to make sure that we cover about the game?
Being cyberpunk and science fiction in general, I think it has something to say about the world. It's definitely not like an overt political message, but it is based on my, feelings and observations about the world. I think the most overt political influence is probably I saw a news article about how Elon Musk was making these brain chips and like was putting them in monkeys and the monkeys were all dying. And I was like, yeah, that's something that belongs in my game. Something kind of messed up from the real world. And brain stuff, brains feature a lot in this game. Virtual reality servers hosted on human brains is like the perfect processor. That's an idea that comes from the Wachowski sisters. The original idea for the Matrix was that the Matrix is hosted on people's brains, but then the studio, I guess, cut that idea because it was too complicated.
So they made humans batteries instead.
Yeah. Like, yeah, okay, scientifically, sure.
Why not? Sure.
Yeah, so I guess the influences are it's not directly like I hate the idea of Elon Musk being the actual villain of the adventure, right? He's not the villain is like a mega church pastor more. It says something about, alienation that exists in current society, and I think science fiction is a really good way to provide a social critique in a fun, an exciting package.
And David, just to make sure we get it on mic, could you tell us where you're funding, when you're funding till, and what all people can get from the project when they back?
Yeah, so I am funding on Zinetopia on BackerKit. It's funding from the 2nd to the 27th. The basic physical tier, there's a digital tier also where you'll get all the rewards, but the basic physical tier is the zine, however long it ends up being. Each stretch goal adds a few pages. And then also the potential cyberpunk heavy metal album that gets recorded will also be included in that basic physical tier. So $20 for the zine or $20 for the zine and CD, depending on how far we go. There's also a sticker. I really should promote this more. There's a poll on the backer kit about what does the spaceship of the alien gods look like. I asked people to vote in the poll and comment, and you get like engagement points for that kind of thing. And if we get 666 engagement points from people voting and commenting, then we'll create a sticker of artwork of the spaceship that Roke will draw. And, that artwork will be inspired by backer votes and stuff. So hopefully it'll be like a fun community engagement project, but it's kind of hidden on the page. And I don't think I did a well enough job of calling attention to it. So,
well, if you're listening, go vote.
Well, you have to back to vote. So back and vote.
Well, go back then vote. Yeah.
We're assuming people are backing.
But so that sticker will also be included in the physical tier.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Love that you're doing an album of music. That's sick.
Yeah, we always love that.
Yeah. Wilderwind's bands. They're awesome. Sacred Bull.
David, as we start moving to an outro, we want to ask you our last question, which is the same question we ask to everyone who comes on the show, which is, what are you bringing to the table? And normally this is a space for you to recommend anything in the world, movies, books, TV, going out for a walk. But for Zine Month, we would love for you to recommend another project that is funding during Zine Month. So what would you like to bring to the table?
Yeah, I'll definitely bring Doors to Dementia to the table. It's the Zinetopia Zine Month project that Wilder Wim is doing. He's the drummer for Sacred Bull, and he's also a stretch goal writer for my project. He's writing it's like a pseudo setting of a bunch of the different pocket dimensions, and he also has rules for creating like the interconnections between the dimensions, and each one is a crazy, unique little universe. He has a way of mixing modern elements with like medieval fantasy stuff that I think is really fun and modern, both kind of exciting and crazy, but also goofy and fun, which I think it really makes for fun, good gameplay.
We will put all those links in the show notes below so people can easily check that out. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you want to let people know where they can find you online if they're looking for you? And also remind people one more time where they can back this project.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys, everything you do for the community. Like, I know it's a lot of work making a podcast, and supporting all these different creators is like crucial to the indie TTRPG ecosystem. So yeah, really appreciate that. You can find my project on Zinetopia, Dead Internet Theory. Yeah, I am on Blue Sky, Proton 31. You can also find my games on itch.io. I have a million crazy, random, little weird games that I've made there. So you can check those all out and download them too.
We'll throw all those links in the show notes below so you can check them out. Be sure to back Dead Internet Theory before Zine Month is over so we can hopefully also get a brand new album of excellent music.
And vote on the spaceship.
And vote on the spaceship. Don't forget to vote on the spaceship. David, thanks so much for coming to the table, and best of luck with the rest of Zine Month.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Zine Month 2026 series. There are so many good projects that we talked about on this series, but there are also a ton more out there. So I encourage you, with these last few days of February, go and check them out. Back some cool, weird, wild indie games, and help some really cool new designers bring some fantastic new games into the world. If you want to support what we do here at Talk of the Table, the very best way to do that is becoming a member of the Many-Sided Media Patreon. For just a few bucks a month, you will get ad-free episodes, bonus roundtables, bonus video episodes, bonus actual plays of our podcast, My First Dungeon, even original music, and some borderline unplayable original games. All that and more, plus you will really help us continue to make this show, My First Dungeon, and all of the great new stuff that we have planned for 2026. Rate, review, and follow Talk of the Table wherever you get your podcasts, and that's what the table is talking about. Bye-bye, everybody.